Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping
what it is. Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, dude, do I got a treat for you. I got Josh Snow all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona. What's cracking, Josh?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me in.
Now, if you guys haven't heard of this cat, you better look him up. Where do they find you on social media?
Joshy the Snowman.
Joshy the Snowman. Dude, this dude's been balling and entrepreneuring for a long time. Even though he's only 26, he started early. What's the first thing you ever did, by the way?
First thing I ever did, well, I wanted to make some money. And so I learned how to program at the public library. We didn't have a computer at home. So I learned how to program at the library, started making websites for people. That's where I started.
For yourself, for your own business?
Well, I started for myself. Actually, the first thing that happened is that I started a blog, built my own blog, whatever. And I got an email from a company that said, hey, we want to advertise on your blog. I had no idea what that meant. So I went to Google. I was like, advertise on a blog, what does that mean? Found Google AdSense. Those guys ended up paying me $400, and the next month they sent me another $400. I said, hey, something's up here. You sent me another $400. They said, yeah, it's $400 a month, right, to put the banner on your site. And I was like, oh, I can make money doing this. So I used that money to buy my first computer.
And then just rolled it into. Now you're doing mills.
Mills to pay the bills,
baby. On the way to do bills.
That's the plan.
And folks, if you guys have never heard of Snow teeth whitening system, that's why they call him the Snowman, because he invented basically like a really high-end teeth whitening system that's got all kinds of patents and special whatnots. If you guys have yellow teeth, by the way, I guarantee you're being judged. Now, most people won't say shit like I will. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you look like you could get hired to spit butter on popcorn and your teeth are yellow, get the damn system. Go to trysnow.com and get yourself this system. Gronk uses it if you're a frickin' football fan. Chuck Liddell uses it if you're an MMA fan. All kinds of ladies are using it. The hotties. I see your ads.
That's right.
Are there some chicks in those ads?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So at the end of the day, man, you can think to yourself, hey, who cares, dude? Dude, I'm telling you, I saw a picture the other day. Matter of fact, I took a picture of it. I'll show it to you. There's a dude smiling. He's missing a tooth. And when you look closer, the dude doesn't have an eyebrow, but you don't even notice. But you instantly notice the tooth missing. So missing teeth and yellow teeth hurt people, and they don't even realize they're being hurt. So I don't care what it costs. If I were you, I'd be seriously interested in getting teeth whitening. Teeth whitening.
That's right.
It's just like, that's no-brainer shit. It's probably one of the best investments you can make. You can shave off your eyebrows and people will still notice you got corn yellow teeth. I always tell people, dude, like it looks like when you smile, like you got a mouthful of Indian corn.
That's right.
Like, dude, get that shit fixed. And your shit fixes it. My question is, how did you like, because you had money to make this business.
This one, yes.
So where'd you cash out first?
So, started with $20, right? And just been rolling it back in. We've raised zero outside funding, no debt, no investors, anything like that. Not that I'm against any of that. We're at a point right now where, we see 15 million people a month, 2 million people shop with us, and we're just scratching the surface. So for me, growth capital is something that we're looking at now. I don't want to be stupid, So with that being said, though, making websites initially, and then I had a client come to me one day and say, hey, if you learn sales and marketing, I'll pay you every month instead of just a one-off. And I said, you'll pay me every month? What do I got to learn? So I went and read every book I could on copywriting, sales, marketing, and then eventually internet marketing. And the only thing I could do at the time, because I didn't have the money to advertise, was search engine optimization. So I said, I have to become the best at search engine optimization. And that's what I did. And so started to build a team around that, because I went to Google and I typed in like how to hire people, if you don't have an office, because I'm in high school. I don't have an office. And so that's where I found freelancer.com, Elance, and I started hiring, Filipinos, Pakistan, India, to help me with the web development stuff, so I didn't have to program all day and design all day. And then sales and marketing is where I started to make the majority of the money. So, companies were giving us millions of dollars to manage on initially Google AdWords. Facebook wasn't a big thing. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't a huge thing. Facebook ads, Instagram wasn't even a thing, all that stuff. So then we started transition from search and optimization, which I was charging 20 to 50,000 a month for, to Google AdWords, which we were charging anywhere between 10 to 30% of their ad spend to manage. So I got to spend well over $100 million of other people's money, learning exactly what worked. And that's why I decided to hone in on the beauty, tech, software kind of area, because I saw that's where the highest margins were, very competitive, but I had the confidence then. And so what I did with that company is I graduated university at 20 years old from Arizona State. So when I was at Arizona State, I started studying, how do you sell a business like this? And I realized that service-based businesses are difficult to sell. And they sell for a very low multiple. And so that's when I said, you know what? I'm a programmer. I'm a designer. Why don't we take the ad spend management we're doing? A lot of it could be automated, and we put in a platform. And then I could white label that to the agencies we're working with. So most of the business I got, we went from managing 10 million to 100 million faster than going from 0 to 10 million, because we took a smaller fee, and we went to these PR companies, PR agencies, traditional media, and they were having the clients saying, hey, we want to move our money from billboards and TV to this online stuff. Like, this is where it's at. And they're like, sure, we'll do it. And they were really white labeling it to us. And so we got to work with Ford, Nabisco, Kraft, like these big accounts, thanks to those agencies. And so I turned that into a platform, and ended up kind of piecing that off and licensing it off to those PR companies to continue to use. Because for me, I realized that I wanted to build a brand. I wanted to sell physical products. I wanted to take that challenge on. It's something that I always wanted to do. And so I took the money from that to create Snow.
Yeah, well, I've had that same thought. Physical product, there's just something about it, especially when you make it cool and everybody wants it.
That's right.
And everybody's heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing. Lately, I've been thinking that's my vid stick idea. I came up with an idea the other day to create like the best selfie stick you ever saw, but then now I'm starting to second guess it. It's like, damn, there's so many selfie sticks, but hell, there's a million teeth whiteners.
Oh, absolutely.
You did it anyway.
That's right.
That's why somebody earlier came by. He wanted my opinion on something. I said, bro, I'd never tell you not to do it. Like, I would have told Crocs, don't do it.
Yeah.
And that would have been wrong.
1 billion in
I might have
sales.
told you, don't do it, bro. There's a million of them out there.
That's right.
And you'd be wrong, or I'd be wrong for telling you that. So I don't tell people don't try something. But I'm telling myself right now, man, selfie stick. But it's a good selfie stick, dude. I got to tell you what, there's always a market for great products, right? You've got good, better, and best. There is always a market for best. And so I love competition. The more competitive, the more saturated, the more of an opportunity there is for me to create something better. And they've already educated the market. And so I love that White Strip spent 20 years educating the world that they can whiten their teeth at home. I love that, because now I can come on. I don't have to educate people on that process. I can just say, hey, you've used strips before. You hate the sensitivity. The results aren't there. You go to the dentist to do it, but you got sensitivity. It's expensive. Well, what if I told you could get the results that you get at the dentist with the convenience of strips? And so it's easy for me to make those comparisons. So I always tell entrepreneurs, if you've got the balls to do it, and you're serious about it, and you're willing to spend 10 years building that brand out, you're going to be able to sell that company to people who have deep pockets, because that market is already there. What do you think the number one, like, if you could stop right now and get into something else, what would it be?
That's a good question. I love what I'm doing. I really do. It'd be very tough for me to get into something else. I'm in two really big markets. I'm in financial services, and I'm in oral care. And there's so much to be done. And you know what really cured shiny object syndrome for me? Because I think shiny object syndrome hits marketers, sales guys the hardest, because you can literally market or sell anything. And for me, I created a checklist, and I said, if it's something that I can't do, I have to be able to do it for 50 years. It has to grow with population growth. I have to be able to own 1% of the market and still have a $1 billion company. That checklist cut out 99% of the things that were in front of me. And we started with teeth whitening, which is an $11 billion industry. But now as we move into toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental insurance, and then you go on an international scale, now I've got $300 or $400 billion market. So if I own 1% of that, I'm at $3 billion. And I know everybody's like, oh, if I own 1% of this, 1% of that. But genuinely, if you spend 50 years to one day own 1% of your market, what does that look like? And for me, that was something, the checklist, because I had so many opportunities. I still do. I get 100 opportunities a week for me to invest in this, do that. For me, I look at that checklist again, and it keeps me sane. And within this business, we're a top 10 advertiser on Snapchat globally. Facebook case study, we spent $10 million plus on Facebook alone, most of that last year. So for me, I look at a business and say, there's literally 1,000 things still for us to do tomorrow with one business, one product, one brand. I'll sell 1 million of these units of one single product before we really even roll out toothpaste. So for me, I realized that within one business, there's 1 million things to do if the market's big enough. And at the end of the day, I want to be in the distribution business of our own products, because that's really where the money is. And I follow people like Jean-Paul DeJoria, who has Paul Mitchell, billion a year in sales. It's about distribution at that point. And for me, I realized that the wealthiest people that I looked up to, most successful, were in the distribution business, the reorder business. So I need to have great products that work, that have a reorder component to them, so I can continue to push them, so that I spend more than all of our competition to acquire a customer, because we have the margins, we have the price point, but ultimately I want to win that customer over, because once you have our toothpaste or our teeth whitening system, you're not going to a dentist to whiten your teeth. You're not going out and buying strips. You've got what you need. And that's very dangerous. That's why Dollar Shave Club sold for $1 billion, is once you have a razor, you're not going out and buying a different razor. You've got them sitting at home, and it comes in a box every month. So I steal the customer, and they never go back. And we try to make people feel bad if they go to another product, because ours is so good. Just like my iPhone, I can't go and use I don't even know what another Samsung or anything else. I can't, because I'm trained on Apple, and I feel, for lack of better words, I feel broke using another product.
Yeah, I tried to make that switch to what do you call it? iOS or no, Android. They just don't work. They're not. I mean, they work, but they don't work the same.
It's not the same.
Like I'm trying to swipe, and they're like, oh, you don't swipe. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't swipe? Like, why are you guys making this shit difficult? But then there's these Android users that say that about iPhone. I don't know how they got stuck on Android and don't understand the value and convenience of an iPhone.
I always just say, once you go Mac, you don't go back.
Yeah, I think that's changing a little bit. I think since Steve died,
yeah,
they're slacking. Like
I
there's
agree.
no spot for a stylus on an iPad. They wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. Steve wouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. There's like, this thing used to be magnetic. So you're like, that's magnetic right here.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. So like that was smart. They don't do it anymore. They're starting to, I think, go by the wayside of value and beautiful design for profit, because Steve died. I think Steve was there saying, screw the profit, make it awesome. And I think they're losing a smidge of an edge there. We'll see. Right now, iPhone, I think, is the best phone on the market.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. So tell me, you say you really help people build brands. What are some things that, like, somebody would be crazy if they didn't pay attention to if they were trying to build a brand?
Yeah, so I learned from Warren Buffett, buy commodities, sell brands. And so you look at a commoditized space like oral care, toothpaste, mouthwash, and you think about the experience. And today's consumer wants to experience the products that they purchase, and they want to be able to share it on social media. And that's why we spend so much money on our packaging. We want people to, one, feel good about it. We want them to protect their investment, but we also want them to be excited to share it. And, our product here will sit on your vanity, and you have people come over and say, what is this? Is this like an Amazon Alexa or, this and that? And so brands, in order to build a brand, you have to think about what you stand for, but you also have to think about what you say no to. So for example, my whole team was like, hey, charcoal's a big thing. You know, people are rubbing charcoal on their teeth and whitening, boom, boom, boom. And I said, I get it. You got, you know, black stuff in your teeth on a Facebook ad. It stands out. People buy it. But here's the deal. It's an abrasive. You're putting dirt and you're ruining your enamel. You should not be brushing your teeth with charcoal powder. And so we just don't stand by that. That just doesn't make sense. We want products that work, that we can sell for 50 years. I don't want to hop on trends. That's not what we do. Now, we'll take a trending flavor. You know, for example, we've got pumpkin spice toothpaste coming out, you know, for the fall. We'll take pumpkin spice whitening toothpaste and we'll run that as a trendy flavor, but we'll bring it back every year if it continues to sell. I'll sell eggnog toothpaste if it sells. But for us to change our core value and now get customers who are ruining their enamel, I can't sell that customer if their enamel's ruined, because then I got to sell enamel recovery serum, you know, and it's just not something that we stand by. So you have to think about what you say no to more than what you say yes to as a brand, and you have to be consistent. And then ultimately you have to be diehard protectors of your customers, and we can do a 5-year warranty, results guarantee, and we'll do anything we can to protect our customer so that we can continue to nurture them for 50 years. So you have to think about, treat your customer like if they were your brother. And if you build that into the culture, and into the products engineering, my engineers think about the product and they say 10 million people are going to be putting this in their mouth for 5 years. Our toothbrush that's coming out, we have a lifetime guarantee coming out on it, and we're going to say this is a toothbrush you're going to pass down to your grandkids. Like, they will never use that one toothbrush you buy. They're going to pass it down for 100 years. And if we can at least think like that, maybe we won't reach that. But if we can start there, you start to think about, okay, what does our brand stand for? And that's why there's the Vitamix of blenders, the Dyson of vacuum cleaners, the Apple, thinking in that aspect. And I agree with you. I think that Apple has figured out how to continue to bleed what Steve has left, and every year come out with a better camera so more people can buy a phone. But at the end of the day, they're sitting on $250 billion of cash. It's gonna be they're gonna have a slow death. Even if they died right now, it'd take a long time for that $250 billion to disappear. They'd have to bring it to the U.S. somehow. But you know, those companies, $1 trillion brand, and you look at what Apple stands for. Steve was adamant about saying no. So it's like, no, we are not having a keyboard. That's it. And they're like, no, what are you talking about? We're not gonna have a keyboard. Everyone's gonna flip out. I remember in 2007, 2008, when I got the first iPhone, the first question I would get is like, how do you do that? Like, where's the keyboard? And like, isn't it weird just with the touchscreen? But after a while, you realize he was right. And he pushed his way into that by saying no to keyboards. No, the App Store is very controlled versus Android. Android, you could put a piece of shit app on there. App Store goes to a very rigorous approval process. We had to go through it with our app for snow. And so you have to think about what you say no to. What are you going to deny in order to build that brand consistency? So that's the main thing I would say to stick to. And it's so easy to be like, oh, like, you know, charcoal toothpaste, this. It's like, no. What do we stand for? And I think that's the key indicator of building a brand for the long haul.
You doing a bunch of speeches?
Yeah. On stage, you mean? Like presentation stuff?
Yeah, because nowadays there's a whole bunch of people. They're actual running businesses. And a lot of times, like, when people ask me to speak, I don't have time. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could, but I don't. So then you go see all these people that are speaking a lot, and they're the ones that get the popularity because they're everywhere, but they're not real. They're not really building shit.
Exactly.
They're just speakers.
Yep.
They just speak.
Yep.
And it's like, God damn, dude, you're building a real company. I'm building a real company.
Yep.
Andy Frisella has a real company.
That's right.
Do you speak?
I do. Yeah, I was on stage with Andy Saturday here in Vegas.
Oh, is that what you were here for?
Well,
Speech?
I was actually here for my business partner's Rob Gronkowski, and so his retirement party was this weekend here in Vegas.
Damn.
And
See,
so
didn't even get a motherfucking invite.
Yeah, we had a good time, and also I figured the event.
I don't like the Broncos anyway. I'm joking. I know he don't play for that.
The Patriots. So I came for that, and then there was the Heavy Academy with Heavy D, and Andy was there, and so just a bunch of real motherfuckers on stage that have real multi-million-dollar businesses that don't have time to speak all day on stages and travel and sell all this shit. So,
Sean Whalen was there.
Sean Whalen was there.
I went to dinner with him. I think Saturday. Smoked some cigars. Drank a bunch of tequila.
Oh, that's right. You came by with your wife, right? We were at Chaos at,
Oh yeah,
at our table there at the,
oh, okay,
the cabana.
yeah. No, we left, dude. I was like, someone handed me a vape pen that I just smoked. I think it was weed.
Yeah.
Dude, I got freaking like all of a sudden I was like, double buzzed. I walked in right when I was meeting you guys. They're like this, so. I'm like, all right, later. I look at my girl. I'm like, you ready to go? She's like, yeah. I'm like, peace. I hope no one thought like I was being a dick because I literally shook a few hands and bailed.
No, I could tell. I came up to you and you didn't recognize who I was at the time. Now I recognize you were crossfaded.
Oh yeah.
But no, we had a good time. So that's what I was here for and on stage. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit a few stages where it makes sense so that I can at least share what we're doing and building a real brand, going online to offline. And, I speak on influencer marketing a lot. And I'm very careful not to pigeonhole myself. That's just one tactic. It's really the strategy.
Is it a good one?
Important. It is.
Physical product for sure.
For physical products, yeah.
Yeah, like you got Gronk saying, hey, do this. It helps. Who was I talking to? I think it was the UGG founder.
Okay. Yeah.
He said they went 4 years, couldn't sell Uggs to save their life. And then there was some soccer player that he gave them to, and the soccer player started wearing them, and boom, Uggs took off. I thought, dude, if I was a clothing brand or any kind of brand where physical product, you get them celebs to wear your shit. That's about it.
Well, you got Andy built a $300 million company. He's got 9,000 reps, and whole process.
He's got more than that.
No, I know, but the point
the
is
Legionaries you're talking about.
The point is he's built an amazing company in a very competitive, commoditized space, selling premium supplements, utilizing influencers, and you see it time to time, makeup, beauty, etc. We're in the beauty category, and so for us, it's about capturing mind share and attention. And so for me, it's monkey see, monkey do. It's primate behavior. If you see this over and over and over again, you're not going to question if it works or not, because you've seen it so many times. It crosses that barrier. And that's the most expensive barrier right now for us in our company is, one, does it actually work? And two, how is it different, which justifies the premium price point. So those are the two barriers that cost me millions of dollars to overcome, to win that customer over. Eventually, we're starting to see it now. The tables are starting to turn in a great way where people they know snow. They've seen it so many times that it's not a question of whether it works or not because their sister uses it. It's a matter of the price point now. And so now we're introducing, payment plans, 0% APR payment plans, $25, you take it home. And later this year, I'm introducing try before you buy. So you pay nothing and it just shows up. And if you got whiter teeth and it worked, cool, we'll bill you for it. Otherwise, send it back, whatever.
What about collection issues?
Yeah, trust me, my whole team is beating me up on it right now. But
because everyone would have a snow. The problem is you're not going to get paid for 80% of them.
Yeah, that's the thing is we're going to do a small test and see what those percentages look like. But again, for me, keep in mind, we're the only connected device in the world that goes in your mouth. We're collecting data as well. It's very important to us. We're also winning a customer. So even if someone runs away and cheats us, but it worked, I'm still in a sick, twisted way. I'm happy about it because at least they know they're like, I got one over on snow, but this shit works. And next time now I feel bad. So when I see snow at Costco toothpaste, I'm gonna buy it because now they feel like they owe me something.
Well, the best thing you can do is same concept, but instead of 25 down, man, just whatever your cost of the unit is.
Right.
I know buy here, pay here car lots that used to do that made a lot of money because everyone's like, dude, everyone's screwing you for your car. Well, dude, technically your down payment paid them for the car.
Right.
You were paying them on the profit.
Right.
And enough people paid, but believe it or not, the majority actually did pay.
Yeah.
But the profit is what you made your payments on. The down payment was what they had in the car.
That's right.
Because if I give you, let's say it's $50 for your unit. If I give you $50 down, shit, the rest is free roll.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what would you do if you were like Lightspeed? You know what Lightspeed does? We have a web-based training system. It's kind of like, nothing's like it, but it's kind of like, a Kajabi or a Teachable or a Thinkific.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you do? How do you build a brand? I already have Grant Cardone, Tony Robb. I already have all the top people. Andy uses it. Ed Milet signed up. Of course, he hasn't made his course yet. A lot of people don't understand what the system can actually do.
Yeah.
Like it's a marketing system. I can show you how to make interactive landing pages that'll blow a ClickFunnels doors off. I can show you how to make courseware where you can train your internal staff and your external staff. There's a lot of things it can do, but I've always I'm thinking, how do I get an influencer to blow us up? Like,
I would look at one of the most fascinating companies in the online education space that I follow is MasterClass. And so MasterClass, has Gordon Ramsay on there teaching how to cook.
Yep.
And what they've done is they've created a premium Netflix model for online education. And it's like, I don't know what it is, $150 or something like that. And you get the course, or you pay $99 a year. I don't know what the exact price is, but that model is really interesting, where if you have this content on there, being able to at least get, maybe there's an exclusivity where, so-and-so comes on and they want to settle their audience for 3 months while it's hot. Well, once that content's created, they've already sunk the cost. They made their money back. They made profit. That content is probably still valuable, but now the perpetual cost on that is essentially zero, and it's on your platform. So being able to sell a membership like Mixergy did, Andrew Warner, where he's essentially selling a Netflix subscription to his past interviews. And so thinking through that, saying you have all these people coming on with a huge value content, being able to say, hey guys, after 6 months, can I now license out? You're going to get a cut of it. But now someone could pay $99 a month and gain access to, all of Gary V's or Grant Cardone's or whoever it is. That content's already on your platform. So thinking through the fact that you own the land, and in the best position to be in as in real estate is owning the land, not the building. It's owning the land. And so you own the land. And once that building is done being used by a store, being able to then use that building for other people, that's the concept, that I would be thinking about. That's just from my experience. But from an influencer standpoint, what MasterClass is doing with the celebrities and using that as a platform is interesting. It's attractive. I've signed up for courses on there, and it's really well done in terms of like the actual content. And then it's Gordon Ramsay. What they do is they go to Gordon Ramsay, they pay him a cut of the profits, I'm assuming, maybe an upfront cash fee, and then they go to Facebook and target Gordon Ramsay's fans. And so now you've got all these fans buying the course. Now, I went on there and they have Armin van Buuren for DJing. And, I like Armin van Buuren. I'm not going to DJ, but, I wanted to just watch him because I'm a fan. And it's literally one of those things that they're selling for $100 to a fan who's never going to cook, like Gordon Ramsay, or own a restaurant, but would like to learn some tips from him just to be around him. So that model I think is really interesting. And if you have the ability to then essentially own that content after 6 months, or you share rights to that content, you can run the same type of ads to Grant Cardone's fans and give them access to that content. So that's one model in terms of mass scale. Keep in mind, I'm always thinking like, how can I sell to 100 million people? And that's something that if you have these people building on your platform, you own the land. And so figuring out the rights to that content once it's quote unquote expired in terms of hotness, these guys generally at Grant Cardone, so they're on to the next, but this content is still valuable. And so you essentially have the Amazon of the online education. And once that library is built, it doesn't mean that that book is no longer valuable just because it's been read once by somebody. It continues to carry value, like the Library of Alexandria. That's in my opinion, that's what you're building. That's a lot of value there. So that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I got a new thing coming out called Skill Shop. Inside of every Lightspeed system is a Netflix of everybody's content. So I'm cross-pollinating content, but we sell the platform, not content. MasterClass, they do a great job filming the content. The platform itself there's nothing special about it. It's not interactive.
I agree.
It doesn't really care if you learn it. It cares if you buy it.
That's right.
Well, we're in a spot where we're an actual learning system. Like it's designed to get you to learn what's in it. We started out in businesses, but I got to figure out how to get celebrity. I mean, not because Grant's never not going to need his content. He's out there selling it all the time.
He's reselling it. Yeah.
And besides that, I'm like in other words, I'm not the iPhone. I'm AT&T. I just want the phone service.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how do I get frickin' Gronk to do something that would mean everybody would want a system. That's the problem, man. I picked a hard one because people don't realize that training's important.
Yeah.
Businesses, dude, how valuable is it to find and identify a dipshit in your organization?
Oh, it's everything.
It's
at
everything.
this point. Yeah.
So for $200 a month, which is the minimum we charge, I can show you how to find dipshits. Here's all you do. You walk in, you hold a meeting, and you say, folks, we've developed this Lightspeed training system to give you all the information you need to get promotions, take care of our customers better, be more valuable, be a better human being, have a better marriage. Everything you can think of is in that system. All you have to do, I'm paying for it. I'm the employer. You're my employee. I'm paying for it. Have at it. It's a success feast. And then 2 weeks later, press a button. It'll tell you which ones are dipshits. It's the ones that didn't log in. You can instantly identify a dipshit in your organization, because who wouldn't want to advance themselves, their family, their relationships, or their value to you as an employer?
Yeah.
So if I just told all the employees this is how you get paid more and be more valuable to us, and I came back and noticed 6 of them didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There's your dipshits.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a dipshit detector.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the market for, for enterprise, that type of stuff. Franchises, I think is another market.
Yeah. We're hitting them hard. We just picked up all the Gold's gyms. We had them before. Wow. They left, went through 4 different cheaper companies. Now they're back.
Yep.
9-round. Franchises are huge because they need consistency. Mm-hmm. MLM, they need to duplicate MLMs. But again, I mean, I have a lot of top MLMs using Lightspeed, but they're just dropping in videos, giving passwords. It's like, dude, a video in Lightspeed would be like you sitting in a Ferrari listening to the radio, waiting on the bus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, the thing starts up. You realize that, right? And it's like, they're just sitting in the car waiting on the bus.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. So building a brand, let's say I want to build a brand, a t-shirt brand or a clothing brand or any kind of brand. What's the number one thing you would start with? How do you come up with a cool name? Like Snow's cool.
Right. Yeah. So we hit it hard because my long-term goal is that and I get it now, when I wear a snow hat or a snow shirt, or my employees do, people will come up and say, yo, is that the teeth whitening company? Or, I see your ads everywhere and this and that. And so we're starting to get recognized for a snowflake. And so for me, my long-term goal is to be better recognized in the element of snow. Like literally they see the snowflake and they don't think skiing, they think my company. And that's our long-term goal, is to be synonymous with that. So thinking through what does the brand stand for? Like one of the most successful t-shirt companies, Life is Good, they trademarked that and have made hundreds of millions of dollars off of that those 3 words. Figuring out what is, again, the consistent message that you're going to continue to push time and time again. Are you making people feel good? Are you firing them up? And so figuring out who you're going to sell to, I think is the first step. Is who am I going to sell to initially, at least? And so for us, we know that we have a premium priced product. It's people that, have the money to throw $300 or $150 on a system. They see the value in that. And what we found in our business, just as an example, are salespeople, real estate agents. It's a huge market for us, brokerages, because the way we angle it there is we say, look, if this could help you close one more deal this year, what does that mean to your bottom line? So if you want to spend $150 to close one more deal, make you feel more confident, you can make a first impression once, and they're looking at your smile. And, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, whatever, they're staring at your smile, you're talking. So we angle it that way. And the other thing is people who are dating, or recently divorced, and you want to up your chances, a smile is going to get you in the door. You don't walk in the door with your dick out. You walk in the door. Well, you do.
I do.
On times I do. Sometimes I do. But that's what's going to.
Well, we just want to just get cut to the chase.
Well,
so when you walk in with it
time
hanging out,
money.
you're just going after the big fish quick.
That's right. Got to go for the clothes, baby.
Now Cody here, he cuts an inch off his dick, he'd have a scar on his butt. That's what I done heard. So, what would be the number 2 step?
Yeah. Okay. So
I want to drive you and get you talking about advertising. Like, you spend $100 million advertising. How do we share that value with the bomb squad? Like, I just started dicking with it.
Yeah.
And I found some seriously cool shit in the last 3 to 6 months that I'm getting ready to deploy. And I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of hacks, a lot of secrets, a lot of tricks to this deal. Like, just, creating the right content, making sure that it's pre-framing biases and objections and things that you don't even realize an ad's coming, but they know it's coming, and there's just strategies. What's the number one thing you learn spending all that dough?
Yeah, I think so that's huge, right? The pre-framing, getting those objections right in there is huge. You want within the people, the attention span is so crazy now. If you don't catch their attention in 2 seconds, they're going to continue scrolling. One thing we found as well is that, for example, on Facebook or Instagram, we try not to be the top ad on the feed, because what happens is people check their Instagram 500 times a day. And so it's this micro dose that they're just hitting. They're checking for notifications, and these platforms have figured out, figured out how to get people addicted to it. And there's a book by Nir Ewald or whatever called Hooked, and he talks about a lot of those things. For example, here in Vegas, you go to a slot machine. There's a variability. You don't know what you're going to get. There's the allure of the prize, so the carrot, there, and so people are constantly checking, tapping. So if they come onto the platform and you're paying to be that first ad, you're getting in the way of their dopamine fix. So what we try to do is we try to be in the middle of the news feed, which means we bid lower, because I want people to come in. If you're a single guy, you want to see some, models that you're following, you want to see some butt shots, you want to see, your message, you got a message there, you check your message from your friend, and you watch a couple stories on Instagram. I want you to do that first. Like, come in, do your thing a little bit, and then see my ad, because you're ready to leave at that point. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, is that
I've been forgotten to drop bombs, by the way. But that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because most people would just go in there and think, I just want to be seen. But in reality, if you're interrupting their fix,
that's right,
you're now pissing them off. You're annoying them.
Well, I learned this from the porn companies. So, someone goes and watches porn, they want to get off before they log off, and so it's like, let them do what they need to do. That's what the Popunders, they really were innovators in that aspect of having a pop under instead of a pop up. So, let the guy do what he's going to do, or the girl do what she's going to do. And then when they close that window, then the ad is sitting there. So thinking through that aspect is important of how we follow people around. The other thing is, you want to take them through a journey before they become a customer. So we know our objections are: does it work? The price sensitivity around it. Who else is using it? Well, I have caps, I have veneers. Will it work? So we have all these things lined up. So we categorize them based on what we think is most influential on mitigating a sale. So if it's first up is, does it work? So hitting them right away, before afters, hitting them with reviews, those type of things up front, especially on the retargeting side of things. The very first ad should be something that just grabs their attention. And what we found is that the very first ad doesn't even have to do anything with the product. I mean, it literally could be just like a jumping kangaroo that like falls in the water. Like it literally had nothing to do with the product. Capture their attention, capture the click, and at least get some of their interest. Then you can start to work on them. So many people want to get to the sale on the first ad, and then they're mad that they're not converting. Well, it takes time for that person to make that decision. So I would say retargeting is very, very key. People don't think through that sequence well enough. And going through and calling some of your customers and saying, what did you think when you first saw the product? What was the thing that made you click, to buy the product? Was it the before and afters? Was it a sale? Figuring that out. The other thing too is people will jump to discounting too early. And so you got to give people time to think about buying your product before you just shove discounts in their face. Mm-hmm. Because if I say, hey, you want to buy this? Okay, you want it for 20% off? Okay, you want it for 30% off? You're like, dude, chill. Like, give me a day. Let me think about it, Maybe I would buy it full price. And so we've really peeled back on our discounting strategy, because we find that people want to buy the product. There is price sensitivity, but I would rather take the challenge of selling you a $2,000 pen than a $1 pen, because it's going to take longer on the $2,000, but I just got to prove the value. So you got to think through what is truly different about your product or service. How can you hone in on that, and then continue to follow up? The way I talk about influencer marketing is, you have a pond or a lake, and you're dropping pebbles in. And it's the same way with objection handling through advertising. You're dropping these pebbles, and it's creating a ripple effect. And eventually those ripples will congregate, and you get the effect that you're looking for. But you got to keep dropping those pebbles in there. Too many people give up, and they go straight to discounting and drop a boulder in the water. And after a while, you kill all the ducks and you kill all the food source, and you become a discounted brand, and you're no longer respected in the same way. And you see Michael Kors and Coach went through a very similar process, where they went to outlet stores and all this stuff. too many department stores, discounting. You don't see that happen with Apple. You don't see that happen with Louis Vuitton. True brands don't really need to discount. Because they're focused on proving the value. Patagonia, I mean, Lululemon, you look at the brands that are worth a lot of money, they don't really discount. They rather lead with value. They justify the value. So they will put models up there. They will put celebrities up there. They'll talk about, Under Armour will talk about their technology and their science. And you look at Under Armour, and they focused on one product for 10 years to prove that value, that they were different. Now you can buy socks and you can buy all this stuff from them, but it was about proving the value that they're actually worth the money. And I think that entrepreneurs are oftentimes, and I'm guilty of it, of saying, how do I get my money out next month, or how do I get my money out 6 months from now? If you start to draw that out and say, how am I going to make my money 6 years from now on that customer, it changes the way you think about your business, and you start to think of discounting in a different way. You start to think of, for example, we sold millions and millions and millions of dollars of one product before we even introduced our floss or anything else. In fact, we took our wired system and essentially cannibalized it by creating this system, and spent $3 million last year to create this device with no expectation other than we want to create something that's 10 times better than what we already have. Because what we have is 2 times better, 3 times better than everybody else, but it needs to be 10 times better than everything else. And so we went in and said, instead of creating toothpaste and all this stuff that everybody was recommending we do, we said, you know what? We're going to double down on what's making us money. And once we have that set in stone, like the iPhone, then you can go and create the cases and the App Store and all this other stuff that continue to justify the value of the phone. Because I would argue that the iPhone is great, but the App Store, iTunes, a lot of the supplemental technology that was added into the product as a marketplace is what makes that device that much more valuable.
Yep. Not only that, but you just said something that is very important if people are listening. You want to kick your own ass.
Yeah.
Because too many people get out there and they think they're the best, and they may be the best. And then they think that's it. And they don't innovate and they don't kick their own ass. So you went and you put yourself out of business. That's what I always tell people. I tell the guys here, because we have new features coming out left and right, especially recently. And I keep telling people, dude, I want to be the one that puts us out of business. And if we think like that, like every day, how can we make the current version useless compared to the new version? Then as long as you're out there innovating and kicking your own ass, no one else will have a chance to do it.
Well, look what Apple does. Apple comes out and says, this is our best camera ever. And every year it's a better thing, which it should be. But every year you feel like shit. Like I stopped watching the keynotes because I just got the phone that they just came out with 9 months ago. And I watch this keynote and I feel like shit for not having the new one, because I'm like, oh yeah, it is pretty slow. Oh, the camera. What happens is you start to drop these little seeds in your customers' minds that all of a sudden, like this new system, it uses the same formula as our other system. 150, this one's 300. Same formula, but this one has an app. This one wirelessly charges. This one you can use in the shower. And all of a sudden people started thinking, oh, that's right, I can use it in the shower. The one I have is old, it's outdated. And so there's a balance to that. You don't want to make them feel too bad, because then they have buyer remorse around the product and they get exhausted, which I think Apple does, I guess, the best job at doing it. But there's a point of exhaustion where you come out with too much, then all of a sudden people can't keep up with it, and then they feel bad about the product that they have. So you have to balance that. But if you look at the best brands in the world, it's always like, we've got this new, if you look at Taco Bell is one of the most fascinating case studies I like to study, is they use the same 5 ingredients in all of their products every time. And there's the quesarito, the Doritos, they use influencer marketing. They grab Doritos to create the Loco Taco. And so they're constantly innovating using the same 5 ingredients. And I would love to see inside of that, that lab, to see how they're talking to each other and saying, how can we use the same 5 ingredients and come up with a new product and make it so that the last one is not as cool anymore. And so I think that's the way that brands should be thinking, is making it better, making it better, making it better against yourself. Because Usain Bolt is not running on the track and looking to the left and right of him, because there's no one to the left and right of him. He's looking inside of himself. And that's why it's so hard in building a brand and going from 100 million to a billion, or billion to 10 billion. It's very hard in track. I was in track and field, and I remember studying, Olympic athletes running the 100-meter dash. It's so difficult to shave a tenth of a second when you're already the fastest person in the world. That's the most difficult. but that's what I'm chasing after. It's easy to go from, a 12-second run to a 10-second run, relative to going from a 10-second run to a 9-second run. And so for me, that's where the true brands really stand out, is those are the people that are able to go from the 10-second to the 9-second, or the 9.2 second to 9.1 second. That's where greatness happens. Greatness happens in the small areas of improvement that are very difficult to reach. It's not the people that there we go. It's not the people that attempt the Mount Everest. It's that it's hitting that peak. And that's where the true endurance comes through of a brand. So, continue to think through that is something that challenges me every day. And I have to draw inspiration from other industries. I can't look at oral care. I can't look at Crest and Colgate for innovation. Like they change their box, every month. That's cute. But I have to look at other industries. And if you look at our product, it draws from the makeup industry, the beauty industry, the technology industry, the software industry. It pulls from other areas because I, as an entrepreneur, I'm constantly looking. And that's what Steve Jobs did. He went and studied calligraphy and like art and studied that and said, how can I bring that into PCs were already out. Microsoft was already dominating. And that's why I love competition. And I think Steve Jobs would say that, if he were here today, I think he would agree and say, I came into a market that was already there, and I thank Microsoft for teaching people about computers, and Intel, IBM, and all these companies, because I came in and did this. Dow did the same thing. Michael Dow, created $1 billion business in his 20s by coming in and saying, hey, we can put colors on it. We can change it up. And that alone, people are looking for differentiation because personalization is what drives consumer behavior in this day and age. And so they're looking for, how can mine stand out? How's mine different? And so that's why we're looking at, we have a rose gold edition coming out. We have a real gold edition coming out. And I just filmed with 2 Chainz, and we have a $10,000 kit coming out that's covered in Swarovski crystals. And that's the Maybach for our Mercedes line. So I want to build the Mercedes of our business, but I've got to have a C-Class that everybody can afford. And then I've got to have a Maybach so that people can say, oh, you got a Mercedes, I got a Mercedes, but I have an S-Class. And so that's how people are able to, and you got to be careful with that, because if you gentrify your customer base too much, it starts to create some kind of disconnect with the brand. And it's like, what is this brand about? But there's a consistency in the interior of a Mercedes, the technology. So I have a BMW i8. And I love that car. It's a great car, but it uses the same technology that, a BMW 120 or whatever it is uses. It's like the same user interface. So it's like, you got BMW, I got BMW tight. This one has doors that go like this. Oh, that's what's different, right? Oh, it's a hybrid. So you have to have those different features. And we're doing it in an interesting way with toothpaste as well. So we've got champagne toothpaste coming out and champagne mouthwash. We've got mint mojito, and we have different flavors that people can choose, so they can say, I like the mint mojito. And the next step is to personalize toothpaste. So if you want fluoride or you don't want fluoride, you want whitening, extra whitening, how much whitening do you want? And so that you can choose your own version. It's your toothpaste. And that's big.
Why would anyone want a different color white?
Actually, so for example, when you go and get like you go for veneers, like a veneer consultation, they'll ask you, do you want the absolute whitest, where everybody will know you have veneers? You'll have celebrity white teeth, but everyone's going to know you're going to be gleaming when you come in the door. A lot of patients, after talking to hundreds of dentists, they say that most patients want a natural white, where yes, it's white, but it's not blindingly white. But others want blindingly white. And so there are shades, there are 28 shades that are identified for whiteness of teeth, and not everybody wants snow white teeth. Now, if you want it, that's why we have the system where you can customize it. You're going to choose wherever you want to fall in between of shade of whiteness. Some people just, they smoke cigarettes for 30, 40 years of their life. They drink wine, they drink coffee, and they just want like not black and yellow teeth. Like they just want like normal teeth. Others want to go all the way up. So,
well, who would want like a layer of dinge? Like, oh no, that's way too white. Put a little layer of yellow on that, please.
Yeah, believe it or not, people they're uncomfortable. We get it from customers. They'll send in and say, hey, like my teeth I'm getting a lot of compliments, which I like. For the first time in my life, I don't go like this and cover my mouth when I laugh. That's great. But now it's a lot of attention on me for my smile, and they think I got veneers, and I don't want them to think that I paid to look different. I want my boobs to look big and voluptuous, but I don't want them to be immediately identified. I talk to girls about this all the time that are getting their boobs done, and I said, where are you gonna go? You're gonna go double D? You're gonna go E, G, B? Some girls want they walk in and it's, well, bam, you got your tits done. Others just want that confidence, and they want people to say, I don't know if she got her tits done. The best plastic surgery, in my opinion, is like, God, he's good looking. Did he have work done? It's that question. Did he have work done? So, wow, her teeth are naturally white. She must take care of her teeth. She has great hygiene. She didn't go and get veneers. She didn't go and do this. She didn't cheat. So it's funny how it works, but that's why plastic surgery is a big business. But I think the best plastic surgery, in my opinion, and everyone's got their own opinion, I think it's when it looks naturally, you're naturally gorgeous, and like, wow, you have great genetics. And ultimately, that's what we're seeking to draw better mates, to draw that attention, is this guy's got great genetics. But others want to stand out in that way. So we give them that option.
So, folks, if you want to get your teeth white, go to trysnow.com and order yourself one of these little units. I popped one open, man. They're badass. They look good. They're quality. They're freaking high end, but not expensive. I don't think $299 is expensive, bro.
No.
And you say you have a cheaper one or no?
We do, $150.
Yeah, so I mean, folks, I don't care if dude, if it's $1,000, get your damn teeth white. If you're smiling and it looks like cars are going to slow down at the intersection because you smiled, dude, you got to stop that shit. If it looks like you gargled with butter every morning, you got to stop that shit. As soon as I look at someone, and I've seen very successful people, and they smile and their teeth is like fucking hominy, like a mouthful of corn, I think to myself, what's wrong with this dude?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with your teeth? Like, why don't you brush those bitches? It looks dingy and dirty. Even though it may be years of staining, there's an answer. There's a solution. There's something that you can do about it. That's like not cutting your nose hairs.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just cut the fucking things?
Yeah.
Look as good as you can, folks. I'm telling you, everyone wants to like laugh when I say shit, or some people get pissed off when I tell people to lose weight. I tell people to freaking, like, it doesn't matter. Like, dude, there's styles. The Heavy D guys, Andy Frisella, a lot of those guys are bearded up like this dude. Dude, hey, own the fucking beard. I don't care. That's a style, though. Like, own the beard. Get some fucking beard oil. Or brush your teeth.
Listen,
be the best looking, what do you call the ones that look like they're dying? There's a style. Mods, emos. They're called
goth, or
the goth. Those guys. Hey, dude, if goth is your deal, then fucking have white teeth when you're gothic. If you want to have any chance of, I think, success, people are judging you. Just like I walk in and I got teardrops on my eyes, and I got my wife's name on my forehead, and I got neck tattoos up to here, and I got lip tattoos. Dude, you're not going to have as many job opportunities. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's just the truth. Mm-hmm. Now, someone can say, well, I don't want one. I'm a tattoo artist. Okay, good. Then you're going to look like a superstar as a tattoo artist.
That's right.
Point being is, mind how you look. Look as good as you can in whatever style or area you're in. Just look as good as you can. It's not conceited. It's not egotistical. It's fucking good advice.
Listen, if you got one, we did a deal with, Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show?
Yes.
Beetlejuice. So we did a deal with Beetlejuice. He's one of our influencers. He has no teeth. And so even if you have no teeth, one tooth, right? This is something that people are thinking about. The deal there, I'll break it down really fast, is...
I bet it's a white-ass tooth now, isn't it?
Oh, super white tooth, Snow White. And he calls it a cup of teeth. So what we did,
but I can't trust anything that dude says. He's always lying through his tooth.
Yeah, that one tooth is a liar, I'm telling you. He doesn't have a fence to hide back the lies. But so we did that deal because people, top of mind concern, he makes people laugh. So anyone that makes people laugh makes people smile. So they're thinking of the smile. And people have seen progressively him lose all his teeth. So it's something, a part of his identity. So we jumped on, and that was one of our most successful influencer deals to date, because a lot of celebrities follow him. A lot of people laugh with him. He gets 50,000 likes when he posts, And so we did that
What's
deal.
his Instagram?
It's Beetle Pimp. Beetle Pimp.
I haven't seen Howard Stern since he went that serious deal.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
do you think that hurt Howard? I do.
From a brand perspective,
Well, because
yeah.
I used to listen to Howard Stern.
Yeah.
He was huge. He
Yeah.
was huge. He had movies coming out. And then
Yeah.
now I don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah.
Robin Givens,
Yeah, Robin. Yeah.
never hear from her anymore. Baba Booey, where'd that dude go? Beetlejuice, where'd they all go? Are they all still there?
They're there. But, it was a great financial deal. Sirius paid a lot of money for Howard to do that. I mean, a lot. It's jaw-dropping. But I think from a brand perspective,
He screwed it up.
I mean, he's not he's not really relevant. I mean, he's relevant. I can't say that, but to the level that I think he could be, because he's amazing. I think he could be much more relevant on a different platform. And you see, Oprah just announced that she's doing the Apple. Apple's coming out with their own version of Netflix, and she's one of the Steven Spielberg, Oprah, and Oprah's going on that platform. And I think that's smart because Oprah has continued to try to create her own platform with limited success relative to her success. And ultimately, she does incredibly well on other people's platforms when she lets them do what they do best, and she does what she does best. And I think it's going to be a success, her going on that platform. So, you got to kind of know, you got to know your business. And I try not to ever play another man's game. I try to know what I'm good at, what my game is, and let other people do what they do best. Because when I start, never play another man's game. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very careful when I gamble. I'm here in Vegas. It's, I'm trying not to play another man's game. So understand what you're good at, own it, like you just talked about. And, White Smile is one of those things that it's just an instant boost of confidence. You get results in 9 minutes a day. You can use it for 1 week, 3 weeks, 3 years, whatever you want.
Eventually it stops, doesn't it?
You have to maintain it. Because if you're going to keep drinking coffee, tea, smoking, etc., we don't tell people to stop smoking, stop drinking wine. We know people are going to continue with what they're doing, but at least have white teeth while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Smoke a whole pack of cigarettes a day and just use this puppy twice a day, and you'll have white teeth. And people say, I don't know how you smoke 2 packs a day, you drink all this coffee, and you've got a white smile. I don't know what's going on. They say, oh, I use snow. So our thing is, we're partnering up with a lot of the big communities for wine drinkers, coffee lovers. We just did a wine box deal with one of the biggest wine box companies. And we said, look, have a glass of wine on us. Have another glass because we're going to keep your teeth white. And that's what's nice about our business is that, the worse that people eat and the more habits that they have, the better of a customer they are for us.
Yeah. And you got those refills. They just show up. You got auto ship.
That's right. Yep. $25.
Because if they're using it right, well then they're going to need more in a certain amount of days.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of success in internationally, like Europe, where they're drinking coffee and tea, and big smoking countries, traditional cigarette smoking countries. We're seeing a lot of success. China, South Korea, Japan.
What about UK? You're not in the UK.
UK's.
Like those guys, like, dude, their celebrities have corn yellers.
Oh, I know.
Why do you think that is?
It's well, you got to look at their health system and how it's set up. It's a national health system, and dental is not prioritized as a part of their culture. Thankfully, Instagram's single-handedly be the best thing that's happened to our business because the emphasis of the selfie, and people have to now show the world their teeth for the first time, and they could hide it for a certain amount of time, but eventually your teeth are going to come out, and people will look at that. And we've globalized the look of white teeth, and ultimately Hollywood, because of the of the entertainment industry, white teeth are a norm. Celebrities get veneers, and because they have veneers and white teeth, we look up to those people. We look up to the Kardashians, right? That's what they're looking up to. They have really white teeth. And so in order for you to complete that look, it always bewilders me that, guys will go and spend all this money on supplements. They'll go to the gym. They'll do all this stuff. They'll buy a $200 bottle of cologne, and they'll walk in with cheese teeth, and they're buff, but they're walking with cheese on their teeth. And I'm like, nice muscles, like, great car. You smell good, but your teeth look like cheese.
Yeah, your teeth looks like you just gargled with piss.
Yellow snow.
Folks, listen. Go get a goddamn teeth whitening kit. Trysnow.com. Follow Josh. Where do they follow you again? At Joshy the Snowman?
Just like Frosty the Snowman.
But it's Joshy.
Joshy, the Snowman.
Joshy the Snowman. Go follow his ass. How many followers you up to now?
70,000.
Dude, let's get him over 100K. Let's drop this bomb. When you guys hear it, do me a favor. Like Andy Frisella always starts out with, dude, my price is share. Share it out and bring me someone to listen to. Dude, go fucking follow Josh for me, and let's get him over 100,000 followers. And until next time, folks, if you guys like the podcast, go out and share it and hashtag Andy Frisella so he has to listen to it. See, I listen to Andy, dude, but I know he don't listen to me. That makes him cooler than me. But, dude, Andy's a real dude.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, dude, that's a good podcast. I had a couple people go like, he's always complaining, because the way he's like pissed it sounds. Dude, he's not complaining. He's fucking trying to pound common sense into the normal dude's head. Ed Milet's got another podcast. Go listen to Ed Milet. You got one?
No, not yet.
Book?
No, not yet.
Where can someone see you speak? Just on Insta?
For now, yeah.
Folks, go.
YouTube as well.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
What are you doing on there?
I put all my presentations and all that stuff on there for free.
And you got does Snow have a Insta? Where's all the hot chicks I see related to that product?
I'll tell you what, you go to tristo.com. We have, you'll see our marketing in action. We will not leave you alone.
TrySnow.com, folks. Go check it out. Until next time, I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you swinging by. Folks, go out, share the podcast. Make sure there's 16 people running around here that need to hear this. Share it. Make sure it happens. Go follow Josh, and we'll see you next time.